going on, everybody? Junior with S.O.T. Metalworks coming at you. We are in the process of changing some slats on the table. Gonna be a little short video. Not gonna be a whole lot to it. We've been in there in the shop tonight, working hard, getting some stuff done. Found out we got a couple issues with the table. Nothing major. Nothing major. Just some slats are giving us fits. And let me turn you around here and we will show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I didn't turn you around. I turned you the other way just to get you a little deal that's going on here. What happens is these slats on this table are made so all the pieces and parts can drop down in the bottom, so on and so forth. And a lot of times they get those daggone slag and stuff on them, and I'll be honest, you can sit in here for days and days on end and pick this stuff off. And, it's just, sometimes it's just fun to do. But what happens is it builds up a lot of stuff on this on these slats, and you can see that S there they got cut out. See, it's kind of glued to that. But they get wider and wider and wider. The more material you cut, the more slag that runs down there on them. And sometimes it affects the signs. We've got some of these new core signs over here right now. We've been working on material handlers, so on and so forth. But you can see like this one here, got the A in there, and it's just kind of, it's set on one of those slats and just kind of balled up a little slag underneath. And you get a few things like this right here. See the slag on there? So it makes it harder to clean out. It makes it more aggravating. Some days, it's just like, why not put new slats in there? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw a few new slats in there. I'm gonna show you guys just how easy it is. It's no big deal. And we'll walk you through the process a little bit, because we get a lot of questions about this. A lot of people ask. All right, so like I was talking, it's really, really easy to do. There's not a whole lot to it. We've got individual grooves cut in here. Some people come in and they put them in straight and do it that way. We like to have a little curve in ours. That just kind of seems to help, but you can see the slag and stuff that's on them that builds up. And you can go back and knock some of this stuff off and flip these over. It's a little aggravating sometimes. You can see it won't fit down the slot because of all that daggone slag. I can't get that one to come off, but you could take a slag hammer, go back and beat them down, sit them back down in there. But you never know if the straight edge is true or not all the way across. I like to have mine true across, so when I lay that down, it's good to go. But you pull the slat out, nice and dirty, got all the stuff on it, and you reach over there and you grab one of these that you've already pre-cut on the plasma table that's ready to go, slide it in the slot and stick it in there. There you go. Easy peasy, nothing to it. And you pick out another one, throw it up there, and all this stuff will go in the scrap bin just like everything else. That's why you watch a lot of your stuff. You've got a skinny rail piece down there on the side or on the end or what have you. These are 54 inches across is what these slats are. So you got to have a fairly long piece, but if you can get everything lined up just right, you can have those slots pre-cut. We normally we cut these out of 10 gauge. So this is 10 gauge steel, which is a little bit thicker than our sign material or what have you. That's 14 gauge, I think. This is 10 gauge, so you can tell it's a little thicker. But you can just look how much cleaner that is. See that little slot over there? There's a little slot there in the middle, and there's a little slot over here on the end. Get that trash out of the way, and you're right back to a brand new slats on your table. No issues, no problems. Got one more. Probably put it down here on the end, I would say. And you could tell a lot too. Down here on the end where we're not cutting that on a regular basis, these slats down here are in really, really great shape. So we'll rotate, we'll move some of those from up there at the end, move them down here, have them squared away. We still have our slats, but we don't do a lot of cutting down here, so building up that material width on these slats is not a big deal. I'm gonna tell you what, this is tremendously heavier than what them new ones are. That's a big difference. But all right, so that was just a quick little video on the slats on the table. One big deal I went over this is because a lot of people come in here and they ask specifically, holy cow, how often do you change those slats on the table? That's a lot of material. I'm sure the torch is going to cut right through them. The torch pretty much just rides, I wouldn't say above them, but only cuts very small pieces in there. I might be able to tell where I cut this one off right here. You can see how much the torch gouges out. It's not a lot. It doesn't destroy them. It doesn't cut through them. That plasma will only go so far. So good deal. But those slats, you can put one in every hole there that requires one. We leave them out because we're cutting such small pieces with the lettering. The signs are different sometimes, so I like those pieces to fall on the table, get away from everything. I don't have as many tip-ups on the torch head, which would cause that torch head to bounce around or get knocked off center or what have you. Don't like that, so I've been needing to change these slats for a while. Should have already been done a while back, but hey, sometimes we get busy and we forget to do our maintenance like we're supposed to. It's just part of it. But yeah, doing maintenance is a big deal on this plasma table. I like to keep up with things. It always helps. It's one thing I kind of neglect on is the slats. But I just thought I would just kind of hit on this topic just a little bit because a lot of people ask, a lot of people have left comments on videos in the past, stuff like that. Really, really easy to do, and it really doesn't affect the output of your signs too much unless that stuff builds up. Like, we probably went a little further now than we should have. Normally, I would change those out once a year, once every year and a half. So we cut a tremendous amount of signs, so that's saying quite a bit. So you take a piece of steel, so what right now a sheet of 10 gauge is bringing you, let's see, $115, I think, something like that, maybe a little more. You take that sheet, you get enough slats in it to do about 3/4 of the table, so you can kind of do the math on, on the upkeep on that. And that's replacing them every year and a half, 2 years. Thankfully, I can move from one end to the other, so I can sometimes almost double that. I mean, it depends. If we're cutting a lot of small signs, it's harder on the slats. If we're cutting some bigger stuff, we can manipulate the slats a little bit. So, hope that answers a few questions. I've seen a few comments about that. I know it's one big thing when somebody steps in the shop about that. Just thought I'd give you guys a heads up. All right, if you have not done so yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. Ask me, give me some questions on other stuff you'd like to see on the table. Why certain things do certain things, what we need to cover down on, so on and so forth. You guys know how to do it. But if you haven't yet, get over to SOTmetalworks.com, buy you a sign. You could see your sign getting cut on this table one day. So, that's just a plus, Not many YouTubers offer that stuff. So, all right, guys, we're going to cut on out of here. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. And as always, remember, work smarter, not harder. I'm going to go put some slats in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.